Every Audi dealer has a service sheet. So do I. The difference between those two sheets is costing owners thousands of dollars. My name is Marcus, 22 years in my own Audi shop. The failures I see most often are not from neglect. They come from owners who followed the dealer sheet and assumed it covered everything. Here is what it does not cover. If you are servicing your Audi correctly and still having expensive failures, this video will show you exactly what is being missed. Hit subscribe if you want more of this. Let's get into it. What the dealer's service sheet is actually doing. I will start with the one that bothers me most. Brake fluid replacement every 2 years is not my recommendation. It is listed in Audi's published maintenance schedules filed with NHTSA. It applies across Audi's lineup as a time-based maintenance item, regardless of mileage. Brake fluid, the 2-year rule most cars never see. And yet, I cannot count the number of cars that come into my shop with brake fluid that has never been changed. 3 years old, 5 years old. One car last year, a 2017 Q5, came in with the original fluid from the factory at 68,000 miles and 6 years of ownership. The fluid was so degraded, it tested below the minimum wet boiling point on my brake fluid tester before I even put the car on the lift. Here is why this matters mechanically. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture from the atmosphere over time. That moisture enters through the reservoir cap, through the brake hose walls, through caliper seals. As water content climbs, the boiling point of the fluid drops. Standard DOT4 brake fluid has a dry boiling point of 446 degrees Fahrenheit. At 3.7% water absorption, the point at which DOT specifies the wet boiling point test, that same fluid boils at 311 degrees. On a Quattro AWD car doing 65 miles per hour, you can generate enough heat under hard braking to boil compromised fluid and significantly reduce pedal feel. And degraded fluid accelerates internal corrosion inside the calipers and ABS hydraulic modulator, where moisture contamination and depleted corrosion inhibitors damage aluminum and steel components over time. The customer with the 2017 Q5 had a seized rear caliper piston. The bore was badly corroded, consistent with years of moisture-contaminated brake fluid. Caliper replacement, $320 per side. A brake fluid flush at an independent specialist, $60 to $100. That is the math every time. Why does it get missed? Because it does not appear on the standard minor or standard maintenance checklist. It is listed as a time-based additional item, a separate table in the schedule, easy to overlook when nobody is checking the full document. Some dealers flag it every time. Many do not. What I can tell you is that most of the cars I see have not had it done. I look at the full schedule. The brake fluid gets changed every 2 years, on every car. No discussion. S-tronic fluid, the service Audi puts in fine print. Every Audi with an S-tronic or DSG transmission has a published factory fluid service interval. It is in the official maintenance schedule. It is not a mystery. And it is almost never done on time. The DL501, the 7-speed dual clutch unit in the B8 and B8.5 S4, S5, and the C7, S6, and S7, has a documented service interval of 40,000 miles depending on model and market. Independent Audi specialists commonly recommend the first service earlier than that, around 35,000 miles, based on what the fluid looks like at that point. The DQ250 wet clutch unit in the A3, TT, and earlier transverse models carries a 40,000-mile interval from the official 2017 and 2018 U.S. maintenance schedules. Neither of these units is sealed for life. Neither of these intervals is optional. What I see in practice is different. Cars come in at 70,000, 80,000, 100,000 miles with original transmission fluid. The owners were never told the service existed. Sometimes the service menu showed it as a declined line item at some prior visit. More often, it simply never appeared on the ticket at all. Here is what degraded S-tronic fluid actually does. The DL501 runs two separate fluid circuits, one for the clutch and mechatronics hydraulics, and another for the gear sets and differential. As the hydraulic fluid breaks down, the clutch packs run hotter and wear faster. The mechatronics unit, which is the electro-hydraulic brain of the transmission, depends on clean, correctly viscosity fluid to maintain precise shift timing. Degraded fluid means imprecise engagement, which means heat, which means wear. The gear oil circuit is equally important. Oil that has never been changed carries metal particles from normal gear mesh wear. Those particles become abrasive. They do not disappear on their own. I had a 2013 S4 come in at 94,000 miles with a shudder under light throttle in first and second gear and intermittent hard shifts. DL501, original fluid, never serviced in 94,000 miles. We drained both circuits. The clutch and mechatronics fluid came out dark brown with a burnt smell. The gear oil circuit fluid was gray and carrying fine metallic particles, both well past serviceable condition. Full fluid service with filter, $420 at my shop. DL501 replacement, when it fails completely, runs into several $1,000s. Remanufactured units plus labor at an independent specialist. That cost is real. This is one of the most expensive transmissions Audi makes. The fluid that keeps it alive costs less than a tank of fuel to replace on schedule. If you drive a ZF 8-speed, found in the A6, A7, A8, Q7, and earlier versions of the S4 and S5, the picture is almost identical. ZF themselves publish a fluid and filter change recommendation at 70 to 80,000 miles. Audi labels this transmission lifetime fill in the owner's documentation. ZF's own guidance says otherwise. I follow ZF's guidance. I have yet to regret it. Haldex fluid, the Quattro service nobody tells you about. If you drive a transverse Quattro Audi, an A3, S3, TT, TTS, or early Q3, your all-wheel drive system runs through a Haldex coupling unit at the rear axle. That unit has its own dedicated fluid, and Audi publishes a service interval for it. Every 3 years, regardless of mileage. That is directly from the official NHTSA-filed Audi maintenance schedule. 3 years. Not 60,000 miles, not 100,000. 3 years. The reason it is time-based rather than mileage-based comes down to how the fluid actually degrades. Haldex fluid breaks down from heat, clutch wear material, and additive depletion over time. As contamination builds and the additives deplete, the fluid loses the friction characteristics the coupling clutch pack depends on to engage correctly, and the pump has to work harder against degraded hydraulic fluid. On Generation 4 and earlier units, debris from the clutch pack also accumulates in the pump's mesh strainer. When that strainer clogs, the pump response slows. When pump response slows, the rear axle engages late or not at all. And when the rear axle stops engaging, you are no longer driving a Quattro. A 2014 A3 Quattro came in at 82,000 miles. The owner had never had the Haldex serviced. He came in because he was noticing persistent wheel spin on wet roads from what felt like the front axle. The rear was not pulling. The Haldex pump was contaminated, and the strainer was blocked with friction debris. The coupling had effectively stopped functioning. A complete Haldex fluid and filter service at my shop runs $120 to $180. A new Haldex unit, which is what this customer needed, runs $2,800 fitted. The fluid service very likely could have prevented it. The other thing I will say directly. On Generation 5 units fitted to MQB platform A3s and Q3s from around 2013 onward, there is no separate replaceable Haldex filter cartridge like the earlier generations. The pump itself contains a fine screen, so routine maintenance is simply draining and refilling the correct fluid. It is even simpler. There is no excuse for skipping it. The Haldex service is on my checklist for every transverse Quattro that comes through the door, regardless of what the previous service record shows and regardless of what the last dealer wrote on the service sheet. Carbon cleaning, the interval your dealer calls condition-based. Every direct injection petrol engine in Audi's range, every EA888 2.0 TFS, every EA8393.0 TFS, every EA837 3.0 supercharged, accumulates carbon deposits on the intake valves over time. This is not a defect. It is a characteristic of direct injection. Fuel is injected directly into the combustion chamber rather than through the intake port, so no fuel wash ever touches the back of the intake valves. Oil vapor from the PCV system deposits on them instead. Over time, those deposits build into hard carbon that restricts airflow, causes rough idle at cold start, reduces combustion efficiency, and, in severe cases, produces misfires. The rate of accumulation varies. Short trips, lots of cold starts, oil quality, and PCV behavior all influence how quickly deposits build. But on every direct injection Audi I have ever torn down, the carbon is there. Audi does not publish walnut blasting as a scheduled maintenance item. What I can tell you is that after 22 years working on these engines, I have never pulled an intake manifold off a high-mileage direct injection Audi and found clean valves. The deposits are almost always there. The question is, when and how badly? In my shop, I start looking at carbon buildup from around 60,000 miles on any direct injection engine. On cars that do a lot of short trips, or on higher mileage examples with no walnut blast on record, I have seen significant restriction at 45 to 50,000 miles. The service itself, walnut blasting the intake ports and valves, is a labor-intensive job. On a 2.0 TFS, it runs $250 to $400 at an independent shop. On the 3.0 TFS, it is more involved and costs more. But compared to what a severe carbon-related misfire or restricted airflow does to fuel trims and long-term combustion efficiency, it is cheap. The 500,000-mile Audi blueprint I wrote covers carbon buildup in detail. The exact mechanism, the engine families affected, the inspection and cleaning procedure, and the maintenance habits that slow accumulation. The link is in the description. What I tell every customer is this: if you have never had a walnut blast and your car is past 60,000 miles on a direct injection engine, I am going to inspect those valves. Every time. It is not a matter of whether the carbon is there. It is a matter of how much and how long you are prepared to leave it. Coolant, the service everyone postpones. The Audi maintenance schedule checks coolant level at every service. It does not prescribe a universal replacement interval the way it does with brake fluid. What it does not tell you is what happens to G13 coolant over 5 or 6 years of heat cycling. Most owners never replace it until something fails. Most service sheets say, "Check condition," and stop there. Here is the mechanical reality. Audi specified G13 coolant across a large portion of the modern lineup beginning in the late 2000s. Like all modern OAT coolants, G13's corrosion inhibitor package is designed to protect the cooling system for a finite service life. The corrosion inhibitors in it deplete with age and heat cycling. As the corrosion inhibitor package ages and becomes less effective, the coolant provides less protection for the aluminum alloy components it contacts: the heat exchanger, the coolant pump housing, the thermostat housing, and the plastic expansion tank. These are not cheap components to replace. The composite thermostat housing on the EA888 is a well-known age-related failure point. Fresh coolant maintains the corrosion protection throughout the system. Whether depleted coolant directly accelerates housing failure is difficult to isolate. But running degraded fluid in aluminum-heavy cooling systems is not a risk worth taking. I had a 2016 Q5 come in at 71,000 miles with a coolant leak from the thermostat housing. The owner had bought the car at 63,000 miles with no service records. The previous owner had apparently topped off the coolant reservoir at some point with a generic green coolant, incompatible with Audi's G13 specification. Mixing incompatible coolants can compromise the corrosion inhibitor package and alter the additive chemistry the system depends on. The thermostat housing had begun to degrade, which is a known failure point on these engines. Thermostat housing replacement, $480, fitted at my shop. A 5-year coolant flush with correct G13 fluid, $65 in parts, and 40 minutes of labor. That is the gap. I replace coolant on a 5-year cycle. Every car. G13 spec. Fresh. Correct mixture. I verify the expansion tank and all hose connections while the system is open. This service costs $40 to $80 in parts at an independent. It takes less than an hour. It protects components that cost $500 to $1,200 to replace when they fail. The Audi blueprint covers the correct G13 specification, the mixing ratio, and the inspection points for the cooling system in detail. If you want to do this yourself, that is where I would start. I want to be precise about something. I am not saying your Audi dealer is trying to harm your car. Most dealers follow the factory minimum service schedule accurately. The problem is that the factory minimum schedule is designed to satisfy the manufacturer's scheduled maintenance requirements during normal ownership, not around the 20-year, 250,000-mile ownership life of a well-maintained Audi. Every service I do on every car is built around one question. What does this car need to still be on the road and driving properly at 150,000 miles? Brake fluid every 2 years answers that question. S-tronic service on schedule answers that question. Haldex fluid every 3 years answers that question. Carbon cleaning at 60 to 70,000 miles answers that question. After 22 years, I have the cars in my shop that prove this works. I still have a C5 A6 2.8 that has been in my care since it came off a flatbed at 92,000 miles. 500,000 miles on that car now. The engine has been right since the day I rebuilt the top end. Every fluid on that car has been changed on schedule every time without exception. That is not luck. That is what consistent, proactive maintenance actually looks like on a German car. If you found this useful, subscribe. I cover Audi ownership at this level every week. No dealership spin, no filter.